My mom was a stripper. I used to sleep in a Monte Carlo while she did her thing. She told me straight, do what you have to do to take care of your family. So it's easy to write down a dance move, especially if you feel like it's saving you.
My name is Robert Hoffman, and I am a dancer. Dance has taken me all over the world. Dance made me into a movie star. I teach dance. I breathe dance. And you know what else I realized on my journey? I love dancers. I love who they are, I love how they think, and I love knowing how each one of them got great at what they do. So I wanted to do a deep dive into the mind of some of my favorites, and I want you to come along with me in this episode of Dancers Driving to the Studio. Eyez is a world-renowned krump dancer, choreographer, and teacher. He's also a producer of some of the most popular krump music that I have in my music library right now. He's known for his powerful and expressive style of dance, which has helped to make krump one of the most popular forms of street dance in the world. Eyez has performed and taught all over the globe, and his work has been featured in films, television shows, and music videos. He's also committed to teaching and mentoring young dancers and believes that krump can be a positive force in their lives.
Hey,
good, man. What up, cousin?
I'm good. Good.
Let's whip.
Got the Jeep thing going.
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. All right, let's get it.
Riding buck.
Yeah, man. I'm really, really excited to do this with you today. I've wanted to pick your brain for a long time, so This is very exciting for me.
Pick away, bro.
Okay, cool. I knew to expect this because, and I'm curious if you get this a lot. I knew to be surprised at how gentle you'd be. Because if anyone doesn't know you personally, they probably know your work.
Yeah.
And if they know your work, they probably think you're a mass murderer. Firstly, do you get that a lot? Or people like, whoa, you're so gentle.
Man. Well, people don't actually meet me. So that contrast is I hear it a lot, but usually people are not comparing it to anything else. They're just like, oh, you just look so crazy and angry when you're dancing. That's all I get. They don't get a chance to actually talk to me. So that's
why? Because because you're a private person?
Yeah, I'm an introvert.
You're an introvert?
Yeah. So I hear it, but not because somebody met me. Like I don't get the gentle part. I just get, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I don't really get the chance to really say anything. It's so strong. And I don't think it's that strong because I'm used to it. So what I'm putting out, I'm thinking it's normal. It's normal for, people from where I come from to be that way with whatever expression that they're doing. So I didn't think it was strange until, I started moving around a little bit. I'm like, whoa, you really thought that? You really thought that about me?
Sure. Now, I'm sure there's probably been a lot of interviews, or maybe not, or documentaries where you've probably given the rundown of krump, the voice of it, the culture of it. So I'll ask you a slightly more pointed question from my point of view is, and again, this has probably already been detailed, but is it a heavily rage-influenced art form?
Now, this is a question that I hear often. It's not really rage because it's whatever emotion that engulfs you.
Okay.
Your krump is that.
Okay.
So it's a number of things, but it's done with so much vigor and force. This is the only way that people can identify how you're putting it out. Like, it has to be you're using your rage. Sometimes I'm using my pain, sometimes I'm happy, but it's just hard to do. To be honest, it's hard to do. So you have to have that grit in order to get these moves out. The explosion, the attack, it's just how you have to approach it. Now, what I'm feeling, sometimes I feel like I'm in a state of euphoria. I put on different characters. It's not only rage, it's just whatever you decide to express. But that's the main thing that people catch about it, because they really don't see the creative side. They really don't see the characters and the wardrobe. It's therapy. So we have to dance all of those situations. So it's whatever situation or whatever emotion that you deal with the most. Some people, they deal with their anxiety with this. So they just look, hella anxious and like, you feel what I'm saying? So they're expressing that, they're getting that off. And I've even going deeper, some people have expressed they've been suicidal. So battling with that and the movements that will go with it is like your victory over that.
Quick side note. Everything I know about dance, how to audition, how to expand your freestyle, how to train, how to get an agent, much, much more. If that's something you're interested in, then pause this video right now because you're going to forget afterwards. Go to roberthoffmansdancemastery.com. Get 3 of my absolute biggest secrets on the dance industry for free and a chance to win unlimited access to my 39-part online dance mastery course. So right now, because I got the sauce, you need the sauce. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Let me ask you this. Where do you, like, I think a lot of people, or even myself, have this default, like, oh yeah, Eyez is kind of a founder, an inventor.
Mm-hmm.
What would be an appropriate description?
I
there?
created it.
You created it?
Created the machine.
The machine.
Of crump. Like, the emotions were there. I've learned how to explain this over the years. It's like, how you say you're gonna create something? It looks like it has a similarity to this. I'm like, yes, those things, but the machine of how crump works, I created with Miho.
So interestingly, yesterday when I was driving around with Mikey DellaVella, Miho crossed with our car. We spoke to him really quickly. He was working out, losing all that extra fat he's got, you know. Right next to this fire hydrant that had got knocked off, and there was just this geyser, like 2 stories high on the corner over on Lancashire. Okay, so you created with Miho.
Me and Miho.
So this was, so you sat down and were like, hey, let's carve this out. Like, what was that? When was that explicitly decided?
During the clowning thing, we were clowning. We were clowns. Tommy, we had our own clown groups, but everybody wanted to work their way up to Tommy. Now, in that, you have a network of hundreds of people that you meet that's trying to be the top. So when ideas are spread, they're spread through that network of people who are trying to get to the top. Then you have the top. So our moves weren't even considered valuable yet.
Okay.
So we had a lot of time to play and create. So while we're clowning, meanwhile, we're trying to break down moves from clowning and build them into other things or remix things or just create new things as a whole. And we would write them down and take them to the latest parties because this is where all the people that are going to be, networking and dancing. They're not Tommy's clowns, but they're clowns. If you can get something off in that atmosphere, it's gonna stick. So we would just write moves down and go do them in battles or at clown sessions or at clown events and see if they could stick to the art form, which was
almost like stand-up comedy. You're putting it in front of the crowd to see if it speaks to more than just you, but rather. Okay, fascinating.
So all of the things that we were putting out were catching. It was giving people new ideas. And then it started to take a turn, like the approach of it was different because these moves didn't necessarily make you feel like an entertainer or fun. These moves were kind of grimy. These moves were kind of explosive, forceful, a little bit catty, a little, a little sarcastic. The battle tactics started to change, so we started to take that around. That became the niche. We're adding a new tool inside of this world, which is for the kids, birthday parties, having charisma, and just learning how to perform as teenagers in your neighborhoods. So you could probably pull up to your cousin's mama house, and that's that comfortability for you. You could dance how you want to dance there. Okay. So it was a lot of different things. We wrote things down, we just tried things out. Some things came out with freestyle, but we always reverted back and we named those things that took hold. And those things became the base or the foundation of crump.
But okay, and I want to keep going with that, but I want to stop for a second here because not every, like, how many kids out there right now are trying to learn animation and crumping and anything, jazz, everything, but none of them are out there going like, hey, let's write down our moves. Hey, let's categorize this. Hey, let's intentionally, pragmatically advance this. So what the hell got into you and Miho's head that you're like, wait, let's create a thing and categorize it and list it and methodically experiment with it? That's not a natural drive for a kid, much less a dancer, much less a freestyler. So where did that get set off?
And this is a part that I'm just not able to express. We had
it is what it is.
We had a life that was just every outlet that we would look for. I mean, Miho played ball, so he played football. Okay. He could play sports. Period. He's just an animal. So, I'm the person who I ain't got the physical prowess to play sports. I'm short. I really don't have no muscles on me. You know what I'm saying? I was like 4'7". until the later teenage years. It was crazy. So I'm like, man, I need to grow. It was just a lot of different things. I had to stay in the house. I was shot by one of my family members.
Oh, I didn't know that yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like you don't go anywhere. I was taught to sit and think. My family were afraid. We grew up in a neighborhood that you could walk down the street, literally, right on my block, and you could see plenty of dead bodies on my blocks. So it's like you stay in the house, you strategize, you think of a way, you think. I had to think 10 steps ahead. This is how my family trained me to think. Your dad is not here. What are you going to do? How are you going to learn how to be a man? How are you going to work? How are you going to earn money? How are you going to find something to do after school until I get home from work? You know what I'm saying? My mom was a stripper. I used to sleep in a Monte Carlo while she did her thing. And then I remember like her coming out, and I used to ask her what's going on in there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sitting there in my McDonald's in Monte Carlo. I'm like, what's going on in there? And she told me straight, do what you have to do to take care of your family. That's it.
Huh.
Stuff like that makes you think.
Okay.
So it's easy to write down a dance move, especially if you feel like it's saving you from something, or you're following the orders that your family has given you. We were trained to strategize. So the little dance moves, and we had our enjoyment, because now we can leave the house. It's something that it's saving the kids, so I can put all of my creative, whatever, my pain, my whatever struggles in this creative platform, and then I can perform it, and then it's acceptable. Now I can be myself. So if I had if I could go out and play sports and go outside, stay out late, I probably would have been doing some different shit. My mom gave me the name Tight Eyez.
Really?
Yeah.
And is that?
Yeah, it wasn't gonna be my name.
Is it based on physical features?
No.
What does it mean?
I mean, yeah, because she was like, your eyes are just chinky. I was like, Mom, you have to put it with the dancing though. I wanted my name to be Cavassier. That's what my name was.
But Tight Eyez is so instantaneously intriguing, memorable. It's a fantastic brand.
Yeah, my mom.
I mean, I don't mean to reduce your dancing name to a brand, but it's technical about it. It's really intriguing and really cool.
My mom, my mom gets the credit for that one, because my name was going to be Big Cavassier. Which
would have been so much more typical.
So, because I was around like the stripper culture, because of my mom, so I was like,
okay.
I want that name. It just became me, because it was like, okay, Tight Eyez dance. That's all I've ever. That's the first compliment people gave me, and this compliment come from we going to neighborhood, and it's gang violence. So if you don't do anything special, if there's nothing special about you, you don't get a pass. Okay. I could get a pass going to different neighborhoods. Like, oh, Chance, he dance. Tight Eyez dance. That's Tight Eyez. He good. He don't do nothing. And it became something like I could walk around different neighborhoods and feel safe because I was good at something.
Right.
Of course, I tried to improve that because I want to keep feeling that. I want to keep feeling safe. I want to keep feeling accepted. Everybody all of a sudden sees me. I came from I'm a hermit in the house, walk around with a backpack, just hide my face, to now I'm out and people are, they notice me for something. So me and Mio, we OD'd on it. Yeah. We became the big bros of the neighborhood just by dancing together.
So like, for example, just the jab itself. Mm-hmm. Do you remember any precipice? Do you remember any certain moment when that like started to become a thing? Because I feel like that's a pretty signature movement.
Yeah, the jab is a signature movement, but it came from like a taunt because of the hand that it has. Like, we're used to talking with our hands, especially in battle. So you'll see a lot of hand gesturing from the people who know the old school. Right now, it's just a thing that people wear because that's all they know. But this was actually like a way to talk. Like, we used to taunt. So this is called a style hand. If I'm like this is the style hand because it gives me access to different approaches through angles. I know that people are gonna be like, what? Up, to the right, and to the left. So I can follow these lines and have so this is the style hand. But attached to that, because we were styling with the language, which is how the jab started, like that shoot of energy talking to you, like a quick word or a exclamation point through the language. But Yeah, it's the jab, and that's how it came through conversation by us playing with the lingo.
It's so cool how methodical it is. So I finally bit the bullet about 3 years ago and started getting in front of people that I trusted to just have my introduction into it. And now I love it. I think it's so damn spiritual because
Wow.
I think it's damn near like physical live meditation, because if you're second guessing, if you're self-aware, if you're wearing a negative frame that I suck, it's right there to be
it shows,
seen.
yeah. Me creating Crump wasn't enough. I had to battle. I had to still practice. I had to be 5 steps ahead. You have to go at it with the newcomers. If they see you as the top, they'll respect you. Then if you want to make it like, okay, this is how I use this. This is the operation. It's a little old school sauce from this. They'll be more acceptable of learning the first Crump jab. Like, oh, I can use it in this way. And then they take off. And a lot of people that OGs, they don't like to be challenged. I like the challenge. So I've been in the field the entire time while on the throne. So my throne is respected, and I don't have to implement a rule to keep myself memorable or to be remembered.
Well said. My freestyle is so Crump influenced, just from the few classes I took, watching it a lot, and now like I prefer at least 50% of the time to be dancing to one of your tracks that just so suits my emotional temperament. That has its own swing to it. Is there any other music that has that swing you guys have?
No, I wouldn't say, because I made the music specifically from and for the dance.
It's so good.
Yeah.
The production is so high quality. The swing is so specific.
I am trying to create a Crump or Buck style or genre in music. I've been doing music for what, 11 years?
Have you?
Yeah, just.
Are you the hands-on producer? Or
hands-on?
What are you using?
I work in Pro Tools. I can work in
Tools.
Logic. I'm a mix and master and engineer. I went to school for it.
You did?
Yeah. People always tell me I got Crump like broken down to a science. People call me the walking Crump Bible. Because it's just like, when you learn from me, I'm not teaching you. A lot of people teach Crump through their preference of movement and what they like.
Okay.
Most of my time I'm teaching Crump, I'm talking to the person.
I cannot wait to take your class. This is so exciting.
Because it's like, I can show you my preference of adapting to what I'm telling you, but you're gonna have to dissect this one day on your own. That's gonna be the day where this works for you. Now you can make this happen quicker than normal if you take the risk and interpret this in your way. Don't look at me and be influenced by my way. Just go and fix yourself with this. We have the same essence. Like, I'm not faster than you. My essence is just different. Speed is speed. So I'm like, you want to learn how to move as fast as me, that it has a science in it. I'm not genetically built to move fast.
Right.
My angles just may look fast because this is my way. I'm 10 years in experience on this way. Yours may be behind you. Try that. Don't get on my ship. But the meaning of speed, we both know it. So I'm not better than you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At that moment, we have the same information, we just have different experience. So experience is going to be your best teacher. So I point you towards that experience.
And sincerity. It's a spiritual lesson I learned lately. It's like anyone can become enlightened, or whatever your spiritual truth realization may be. There's no one here that's ill-equipped for it.
Right.
It's just, how sincere are you about challenging your frame? How sincere are you about death to anything that doesn't take me in the direction I'm wanting to go? Similar to dancing. And I said to a lot of people, I'm like, really, I use the word desperation, which maybe I could change that word, but sincerity. Like, if you really want to, train harder than anybody else in the world today, and tomorrow and the next day.
And I was like that at one point in time, at least in my world. It's like, well, I have to be on everybody's level and 10 steps ahead. And I ended up labbing for like, from 17 to 22, I lab at least 5 hours a day.
Woof.
Every day.
Really? Woof.
I dropped out of school.
Woof.
I lab, I would say, about 6 hours every day from 17 to the age of 22. People used to laugh at me, but came to my house when they wanted it to pop off. But they used to be like, yo, you're dumb. You can't dance all day. I've heard it all. But that 6 hours a day has got me to this level to where I can, I can go anywhere that dance is and I will be respected.
Isn't that a good feeling?
And it's not because they understand everything I've done. It's just, I've taken the risk. The test of time. You can see season in whatever I present, regardless if you understand it or not, because I've spent the time to do so. So, I'm laughing now. I do what I do, and I'm the only person that can do it like that. That's just where I put it.
Well said. I need to hold that thought better.
Freestyle is 80% of Crumb. It's 80% of my career. My greatest moments I've only had a couple of planned out sets or moves, but never win. Freestyle is just knowing when. Know who you are and know when to express your things.
So you don't, because freestyle is your default expression mode, you don't ever get stifled or like, oh, I can't.
I do.
You do.
The search, I'm comfortable with searching.
You're comfortable with searching. Right.
I'm doing it in my own essence. So you don't know this isn't perfect. You don't know that. It's all about the presentation. You probably don't know. I have no clue about what I'm about to do. But in that search, you don't know I'm searching. I'm comfortable with losing it. It's free.
Is that a dominant artistic thought process that you just shared with me? Is that something that comes up a lot for you?
Yeah.
Or is that one of many that just came up in light of what I just said?
That's
that a big fundamental of you?
That's a big fundamental for me because I deal with a lot. I'm nervous before every time I dance.
Yeah?
It's crazy. It's insane. I'm so nervous until I engage. As soon as I go past that and engage, sometimes I don't even understand what happened until I settle down and come back. It's crazy. So fear, that challenge of passing through that barrier, that has been my biggest freestyle. Like, how am I really gonna get to my full potential on what I feel? I have to face that fear of like, once I break past that, I can do anything.
But you generally, once you start, your body obeys and you betray the fear, right?
I betray the fear and you have to keep it down.
Now let me ask you a question. Do you think you could execute the way you do if you didn't have that fear to start, or do you? Because I presume that the fear is an integral part of the performance that precedes.
If I didn't have that challenge, I would never push my body to hit or stop. I couldn't find the will. It's will over skill for me. If I have the will to do it, I'm gonna do it done. I'm gonna get it done. I don't care if I have the know-how right now. If I want to learn how to hit, I remember I was talking to Bop and Andre. He's the one that told me, like, bro, you gotta hit. I'm like, what is that? I'm thinking this is called ticking. He's like, this is a hit. And hits are felt, not really seen like that. I took that and I was just hitting all day. And I was like, I really don't know what he meant by this, but I have the will to make it a thing for me. I want to be somebody that hits hard. And I trained from that moment. I was fast. I wasn't hitting hard. In Crumb, we didn't have classes saying your jab angle didn't kind of like fold right. We only say it didn't feel right or it didn't look right. We weren't breaking it down to a science. Sessions gave us that guideline and learn how to control the impulses that we have. I think once you learn how to control your impulses, you can have a better execution. When you're freestyling, second by second, you can't really plan that. You're going to impulsively move.
Okay.
So your freestyle should be creating guidelines for your impulses. So when you're doing something, you won't be indecisive, because that's what's making you feel like your flow is off in freestyle. When you do something you don't like, That's your decision-making process. It came from an impulse that you had to move this way, then you get there, and you don't like what you decided. That's a second taking off of your freestyle. You kind of go down. If you have guidelines to control these impulses, I know what bracket to put my power in because I know what.
Guidelines meaning vocabulary?
Yeah.
Got it.
Your own vocabulary for movement. That's what Crump was. Sessions gave us the ability to create. I need to create guidelines for tie-dyes because I like to explode and be fast.
And that
we session.
Because when you don't like where you have arrived, you've psychologically and energetically impeded on just the strength of your.
Now imagine if you can take those seconds of negative, like you going down, and you can pile them up. What will happen? That's what we call liveness.
Right.
If I'm having I can go up really fast because I'm making the decisions to get me up there, and that's when you have your rounds that you're so high, you leave it on a high note. You kind of feel
God rounds.
Yeah. That's when you have like a God round, and you want to replicate that formula. And that's why you keep freestyling. That's why you keep going in a circle, because you're trying to get there. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But the only way it doesn't.
Yeah, what
happen,
happens? Do you ever have rounds where you're like, I sucked. I don't think
absolutely.
That was. You do.
90% of my rounds on YouTube, I hate.
And you feel like you could have been better.
Oh
and
my
free.
God.
Do you accept that? Because I can see rounds on you that I'm like, that wasn't the most deadly thing I've ever seen on him. But I don't think I've ever seen a round on you where I'm like, ew, he looked,
I am
self-aware.
I am a stone cold killer on the dance floor. If I don't see that person, because I know myself, so I'm like, I'm just now having the rounds to where I can fully see myself.
You're coming to a new height. Is that what you're saying?
For the last 3 years, I've enjoyed myself more than any time in my career.
Wow. And yet you still have rounds where you're like, oh God.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Do you think the twins do? Do you think the twins are? Because obviously they have this, almost like superhero bravado, which we can all postulate whether or not it's authentic. Who knows?
Well, I've been in the ring with the twins multiple times, and I've never taken the L from them.
Do you think? Because they seem bulletproof.
They're not.
Character-wise.
They're not.
Sure. Having beaten them, but the question is, do you think that they ever quietly in the back of their mind go, oh, I sucked, I wasn't original, I wasn't free?
Absolutely.
Because they seem, almost every round I've ever seen from them, they seem pretty damn
you best believe
cocksure that they're free.
They're critiquing themselves. When I'm battling somebody, they're having a whack round, I can tell because I'm a freestyler. There's things that I feel. The things that I feel coming from that opponent, those are the things that I'm battling. Like if you have a high character, I'm going to, and your character is what's making me feel like there is an exchange happening, I'm going to deal with your character. Now, if you try to do a hat trick, you weren't saucy at it, I'm not going to do a hat trick because of your failed hat trick. I don't have to deal with that. I have to deal with what made me feel like I was in the battle, I was in the challenge. So if that was your execution, I'm going to deal with the execution. So that's what I mean by you have to do something. I have to deal with what you gave that was quality. Then I can get to my own path. Because this is a battle. This is what you brought to the battle.
Okay.
This is what I'm using. I'm battling that, and I'm bringing all of this other teammate with me.
How do you feel when people say, when they ask you how you feel about having created this?
Every time I go somewhere, that's the question. The answer is I don't feel it because I'm still in it. I'm still involved in it. So you're asking me to sit down or take a step out of it when you ask me that question. It's like, I'm still in it. I won't feel it until I stop running, and that'll be never. But I guess they be trying to hear like some shallow, like, oh yeah, man, I feel like, I'm a god, I'm a legend.
Right, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
They're looking for that ego strike that they're wanting with their chosen success journey or dream. Yeah, and it's become something so much more, in my eyes, lethal, so much more captivating. I think as I told you, man, I saw your choreography, and even that, I was like, no way. This Crump guy embodies his art so well that he was able to put it on this stage where we're used to seeing choreography, and we have a high expectation for choreography, and you kept everyone glued, fam. We were like, you know.
I appreciate it, man.
We were watching. Is there anyone other than me that you're afraid to battle?
Actually, afraid to battle, like from a skill standpoint, I've never been afraid of anybody.
I would expect the answer to be no, but I was curious if there was.
But I do get afraid to battle. In certain, like the Les twins, I was afraid because I'm like, we're in their house. This is not going to be fair in any way. This is their place, like they're from here, and this is a hip hop event. All of my weaponry is taken away.
I think it's so sick that you still do it. You still go.
Like they're fan favorites. And Miho, this is a real situation. He asked me, he's like, bro, you know you in this, right? Can you do this? I looked at Miho and I promise you, I said, I do not know. I've already went rounds, so these last rounds are the defining rounds. Defining rounds are if we can move on and can me and Miho put Crump like on the map here where it was stolen from us years ago. Can we avenge the Crump world? So we got Tight Eyez and Miho trying to avenge. I'm scared. That's pressure. Like if I've every time in the Crump community they can depend on me to bring the W home, but I do not know if I can do it this time because the odds are too stacked. And do I have enough in me to defeat all these odds and make them believe me? I was scared. That battle situation, that was the most fear I ever had experienced in a battle. There was too much on the line. I'm not afraid to battle you guys. I've battled y'all before, but what's on the line?
Right.
What's on the line for y'all? Are y'all gonna let the other guys come to your place and thrash you? So you have that same pressure, and all of that fear is just turning to art at the same time. But I'm scared. I was scared. So not to battle people, but I do get in situations.
Yeah,
where
you said there's always a fear in general for
something. But some they're just heavier. But that was the heaviest amount of battle fear that I ever had.
How's your rapport with those guys in general?
We're homies. Like we close. We talk before and after the battle. Before we're like, they're telling us like, if we lose anybody, it gotta be y'all, and we like same.
Oh, they were cool about it. That's nice.
Yeah.
How do you structure your classes?
Off the people.
Off the people.
Yeah. I'll come in with a set thing I'm gonna teach because you never know who's gonna be in there. It might not be what they need.
Right.
So when I teach, I just have like 10 minutes where I just watch them dance and I just walk around.
Really?
Fill out what the room needs and how they want to learn. You get to feel all that stuff. And that's how I teach. And people, when they sign up for like privates with me, they're expecting like an outline of what they're going to be learning. I'm like, it's not like that. Hi, how are you? Who are you? How you feel? Okay, so that feeling right there, this is what you can use. And then we start.
Oh, man. Oh, so juicy, so cool. I love the surprise of the great art, because we all have that expect. Like you said, they come into your class and they're expecting probably a very militant regimen, and you're like, hey man, this isn't. The reason you're coming to me is not because I'm doing something untypical. Well, to get to an untypical art, there's an untypical approach. Right. You know, I don't feel like a ballet class dancer or a hip hop choreography class dancer. So you have to understand my training is not going to be the same thing. This is personal. This is emotionally driven. All right, so we got time in the studio. I like to kind of just find out what we're gonna do. We can do anything. We can do the happiest, silliest dance of all time. We can battle. We can do thrash jazz. We could make a TikTok dance. We could
Yeah, we can go silly. Don't mind that. I'm a very silly person.
Make this like the least tie-dyes, like the opposite of Crump. What if we're making like the opposite of Crump? But even though I know you say Crump embodies happiness as well.
Yeah, but I'm down with that. I'm down with it. Yes.
All right, we're here, man. Let's get in the studio and figure out what the hell we're gonna do. Okay, this is gonna be a little artistic exploration and stuff, like just actually trying to exist in a goofy space to that heat.
Goofy. I'll be doing goofy shit anyway.
I do think that'll be some pretty fun stuff in general for the show, like in the promo, like tie-dyes dancing as silly as possible. So at the end of the day, that probably is the strongest thing we can do in here. All right, you ready? Mm-hmm. We're going here. We're going there. So we could start with Little me is like, so what happens when you get older? Well, you do this show, you hang out with one of the best dancers ever. Oh, cool, show me the move. It goes like this.
This is gonna be funny as shit. Oh shit,
1, 3, 5, 7. The classic cheerleading, it's called a herky where they jump up like that. So do 2 feet to 2 feet. Yeah, it's that one. Okay. That way, so go cross. What has become of me? Maybe then you go forward, do, and I like shuffle you forward, like do, then you shuffle me forward, do. Oh, then we'll do a little TikTok language.
What is this? What's this called?
I don't know. Then we got 8 counts to take this motherfucker home. Do we go here? Do we go? Oh shit! No?
I can't go that deep.
No, okay, we don't go there. He's like, what are you doing, man? What are you taking me, bro?
I thought I was gonna do like a ta-da!
5, 6, 7, 8. Blow a kiss.
I can't blow a kiss like that.
Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not out of that. I'm on that drop. I know this song.
Okay, for sure.
Eyez, I know this song. Let's make an actual TikTok. That's funny.
Let me get into some bullshit. Spontaneous combustion. He tossed looks, I toss killers. Now he up for discussion. On some jet engine in the bus shit. Head snap till I'm getting a concussion. Trust me, I bump like what I've been through. With my heart getting sent to. Bow a nigga head, meditate him like you practicing the Hindu. And raw shit is what I'm into. Fuck, bass on, then the face off. Black on niggas scared white when I smack him with the great palm. Shit will explode at any second, disrespect.
Watch people like actually love this. Oh my god. We gotta learn it, I'm trying so hard to make it insulting, and it's like, no, we love that. I think we achieved something artistically monumental. I think you and I danced like the most counterintuitively we could have possibly imagined.
You're gonna see freestyle from me all day, every day. That's what I'm known for. So just type in tie-dyes, you can see all of that. But I'm silly, man. I don't feel like being serious all the time.
Yeah. Very, very endearing guy, this guy. I'm glad I got to spend time with him today. Man. I had a feeling. We had one quick call. I was sessioning with one of his proteges, Bino, and he was talking about you, so I was like, oh, call him, I've never said hi. We had a quick call, and I remembered immediately going like, wait, who's this gentle dude? Because, you know, like you were saying,